Since the first public demonstration of radio by Nikola Tesla in 1893, no one ever thought of putting the 2 hours of music together until we created reggae2reggae.com.
Oh my. They will come to pass. With all this injustice, this world could never last. Oh, somehow I know things have got to change.
To celebrate.life.me on reggae2reggae.com. And today it's the Lord's Day, and it's my second favorite day. And we are going to have a wonderful time learning how we can celebrate every moment of every day. And that's the objective of this program, so that we can use everything that we have to benefit ourselves and everybody else, right? It's so nice to be around somebody who's celebratory and not around somebody who's just a constant crutch. And because it's the Lord's Day and we are having a special series, which is the King's Proposal, I'm going to ask you to just sit back and listen to the King's Proposal, and then we'll come right back to talk about it. So come back.
Long before I laid the foundations of the earth, before I stretched out the canopy of heaven, I was thinking of you, and I chose you to be the object of my love. Before you ever knew me, I knew you and I loved you from the first moment of your life. My love for you has existed before time itself, and it will continue when time is no more. You are worth so much to me. In all the universe which I created, you are my most treasured possession. There is none like you. I left my throne in heaven just to have you. Though I was king, I was not willing to remain as king if that meant not having you by my side. Oh, my beloved, I gave up everything to have you. I cast aside my crown and removed my robe of royalty. I became nothing more than a servant among men. Because you could not come to me, I came to you. I left heaven behind and came to earth just so I could be near you. Though I was rich, I became poor. Though I was strong, I became weak like mortal man. And I did this for you. The cost I paid was great, but I have no regrets. You are worth everything I gave. You are my darling. You are my pearl of great price. One glance from you, and I am ravished by the power of love. Don't think I came to redeem you because I pity you. No. I have done what I have done because I so greatly desire you. I did not pay the ultimate price because you are worthless. I gave it all because you are priceless. And now, I offer you a king's proposal. These are the things I will give to you, if only you will agree to become my eternal bride. I promise to take from you the heavy burdens of life and clothe you with garments of praise. Once you become mine, I will never cast you out or abandon you. You will be an orphan no more. I will never leave you or forsake you. You will have a home with me forever. And I will heal your broken heart, and my anointing will break every yoke that binds you. Instead of ashes, you will wear a beautiful garland of my grace, and I will anoint your head with the oil of health and joy. I have so many plans for you, beloved, and all of them are good. I know that sin robbed you of your beauty, but my love will restore you completely. Yes, the old things will disappear, and I will make all things new for you. You will become as lovely as the moon in a procession of stars, a reflection of my love. All of your life I have been drawing you to me with cords of love. I spoke tenderly to you, calling you to come to me. Now I want to sing over you my songs of deliverance. Once you come to know how deep my love for you truly is, you will live with confidence. My love for you is perfect, and perfect love will cast out all of your fear. If you should ever lose faith in me, I will never lose faith in you. When you fail, I will be there to help you. When you fall, I will carry you. The smallest sparrow looks to me for help. Won't I care for you as well? You are worth so much more to me. Your mind will rest in perfect peace, free at last from doubt and confusion, and nothing will be able to pry you from my arms, because I will hide you in the shelter of my love. You will nestle safely beneath my wings. Those who try to harm you will answer to me, and no plan that they form against you will succeed, because I will give you the keys of my kingdom. You yourself will have the authority of my name to open and close every door before you. From east to the west, from the north to the south, everything will be given into your hand. You can ask me anything, anything at all, and I will give it to you if it serves my ultimate will. Yes. Go ahead and ask me, and I will even give you the nations as your inheritance. And you will rule over the powers of darkness, trampling them beneath your feet. Those who bless you, I will bless. But those who come against you shall surely fall. And I will write upon you a new name for all to see. You will be called the City of God, the New Jerusalem. Kings will come from the ends of the earth just to see your beauty. And they will bring their wealth to you from the far reaches of the earth. And there you will be, sitting upon my throne, and wearing the crown of my everlasting favor for all the world to see. Beloved, I have prepared a place for you in my Father's house. I want you to be where I am. We will walk together in the cool of the day, strolling arm in arm in the garden of God, in paradise restored. And you will eat from the tree of life that is there. Can you trust the promises I make to you, my love? I am not a man that I should lie. I will watch over my word to perform it on your behalf. I will never change. I will always be the same. Yesterday, today, and forever. Oh, most beautiful one, my love, my dove, my beloved. If you will accept your king's proposal, all these great and precious promises will be yours. My bond is my word, and my covenant is sealed with my own blood, which was given to purchase you. I will love, honor, and cherish you all the days of your life. And I will be with you always, even to the end of the world. This is my proposal. What will you answer?
Oh my, these words have been spoken by my master. They will come to pass. With all this injustice, this world could never last. Oh, somehow I know things have got to change.
On reggae2reggae.com, we encourage our listeners with an inclusive, intelligent, and innovative alternative media experience.
Oh my, ooh,
proposal and on the Lord's Day. What a wonderful combination, where we're going to be looking at the proposal from the King of Kings, and then we're going to look at our responses to the proposal and how we need to engage so that we have everything that we need. And I'm going to read a section that from the King's proposal that we are going to be discussing today, and it's this: because you could not come to me, I came to you. I left heaven behind and came to earth just so I could be near you. Though I was rich, I became poor. Though I was strong, I became weak, like mortal man. Now, every time I listen to this, I am blown away. Let's just put it that way. Blown away by a proposal from someone who I do not deserve, but who loves me unconditionally, and who has come to offer me the wealth of everything he is and everything he has. How can I refuse this proposal? It's not about refusing it. It's about getting myself into the place where I feel good about taking up this proposal. If not, then I will always feel inadequate about taking up the proposal and really coming to the place of enjoying it. So, we need to look at our 4 rules as we approach this. That's what happens when I have my master cleanser. Wow. Okay, so our 4 rules of Celebrate Life are: know where you're going. 1. 2. Know your driver. 3. Pay as you enter. And 4. Enjoy the ride. And I'm here to tell you, when we look at this aspect and this part of the proposal, we really have to decide, where are we going here? What is going to be my response to this? And as I said, I'm just sort of blown over and overwhelmed, because if I think about the fact that I would not come to him and he decided to come to me. 1. 2. He left heaven behind to come to earth just so that he could be near me. Wow. Though he was rich, he became poor. And though he was strong, he became weak like mortal man, so that he could give me the opportunity to engage in this proposal. And you know, yesterday, I'm going to use yesterday, our Shabbat Shalom program, as a springboard to get into today's, because yesterday we were looking at how can we really embrace this proposal, and it is through becoming a servant. Coming to the place where we are willing to really become a full-time servant, where if he says jump, we say how high. We don't have any of the reins, the control of our own situations or the situations that are around us, but we engage every one of these situations as he would have us engage. We put aside our earthly glory, whatever we have claim to, whatever we have fame to, and we put it all aside and just engage a place of offering ourselves to him. It's a place of worship. And this is why we're doing this segment on the Lord's Day. How do we engage ourselves in worshiping him? It's about the posture that we take? Is it about the attitude that we take? And today I want us to look at the postures of praise and worship. Because he says, enter into my presence with praise and with thanksgiving. And we looked at that yesterday. And today we are going to engage in the worship experience. It's about our posture. And it's not just our physical posture, but our spiritual posture and our psychological posture. You know, as we look at how we are going to really worship him, we have to look at our three selves: our pneuma, our spirit, our psyche, our soul, and our soma, our body. Engage the three realms of our existence in the process of worship. And so we're going to look at our postures, right? And I'm going to look at all the different postures engaged in the word and given up to us as a guideline for how we need to approach this worship experience. And so I want to start first with the hands, the raising of the hands. It is a position of surrender, whether you want to raise them up here, or you want to raise them up here, or you want to raise them here, or you want to raise them here. It is a position of surrender, right? And we have two positions, one where the palms are out and one where the palms are up, right? When we engage, this is where we receive from him, but we have to start by just surrendering. Nothing in my hand, nothing I bring. And so I come just giving you everything I am and everything I have, right? You can give it up like this, and then you can collect it like this. But the position of raising the hands is one of surrender. You know what I say? Hands up, you know, stick it up. Huh? It's that position where we no longer have any control. It's one of giving up of control to the master so that he can be in total control. And you know, if he is in total control, then he will move us and network for us and reposition us, and we will be able to really embrace what he has for us, what he has planned. Because once we keep our plan where we want to have it, then we may or may not be successful. In fact, we will never be successful unless we decide that we are going to go along his way, because his way provides success in every area. And you know, as we try and do things our way in life, we always find that we have partial success, or we have success in one area and not in the other. And the only way we can have all-round whole success is a word called sozo, where we have holiness and wellness in that wholeness. The only way we can really achieve that, experience that, and let that be a part of our way of life, is to engage his plan by surrendering. So that's the first position of the hands that I want to look on. Then next, we have the other position, that of receiving, with the palms up. When we have our palms up, we are in a position where I am ready to catch what he has to give me, what he has to throw down and shower on us. And it's like, you know, have you ever tried to catch raindrops? You know, you're out in the show and you're trying to catch raindrops, and then you get a cup, or you get a bucket, I have so many buckets all around my house where I catch the water that comes off of my roof. And I catch in 5-gallon cans. But wherever there is a funnel, remember yesterday we spoke about ourselves being a funnel? That's another catchment position, right? And wherever there's a funnel where there is a lead on my roof of the water into a gutter, then I get a 55-gallon drum and put it under that position. So I have all that water to water my plants and to do a lot of other things that I don't need water out of the pantry. So that's another position of the hands. Hands are so very, very important because it can also be used to wave. It's an offering of, celebration. Worship, praise, celebration, where we give what we call a wave offering. And usually we are waving something. You know, in the Old Testament, when we were doing the sacrifices, they would wave certain parts of the flesh before, and certain animals and what have you. Here, see where we're waving us. It's another offering position, and an offering of just, that position of wave. Never go to wave a plane off, or it's going and it's coming. It's just a very, very relaxing position. It's an enjoyable place to be. It's just one of slow movement that relaxes you and puts you in a position where it almost reminds me of a yoga positions, or not feng shui. What do you call the other one? The other one. The one that you pretend that you have a ball and you're moving it around, and it's what a lot of Orientals do, and it's just really wonderful. That's one of their positions. And then, of course, we have positions that produce sound, like a clap, right? And we need to understand that while we are accustomed to clapping, being celebratory, and being a part of the whole praise activity, we need to understand that clapping is also like when you see a dog coming to pull something off of the stove, or a cat moving out with something on the kitchen table. Yes, man, and that is the position that we use clapping for, where we can recognize it as something to run the enemy, anything that wants to steal, right? Get out of here. And that is also one of the purposes of warfare in worship. When we clap, and then, of course, we have other movements, just movements of just prostrating yourself and so on. But let us move on to other parts of the body. We have the head that can be bowed. Again, another position of submission and surrender. A position of worship. And do you know the posture that is associated with the word worship is one of bowing down. And remember when we look at Shabbat Shalom in our Hebrew thing, where we mentioned that all the Hebrew letters have numbers attached to them. They are 1, 2, 3, 4 going right down. They are also the equivalent of our Aleph Bet. I always say A, B, C, but it's not Aleph Bet. It's not A, B, and then C. Then go D afterwards. Anyway, that's not the issue. The issue is that it has a number associated with it. It has a letter and a phonic sound, associated with it. But it also has a posture and a picture associated with it. And so the picture associated with and the posture associated with worship is one of bowing down. And so we have different postures of worship. And oops, I went over my time, so I'll soon come back to give you some more. Going to a break.
Oh my. They will come to pass.
Since the first public demonstration of radio by Nikola Tesla in 1893, no one ever thought of putting the two R's of music together until we created reggae2reggae.com.
Oh my. These words have been spoken by my master. They will come to pass. With all this injustice, this world could never last. Oh, somehow I know things are going to change.
And we're talking about worship and postures of praise and worship on the Lord's Day. And we are talking about the Lord's proposal, the King's proposal. That is just so fantastic that we have got to get ourselves in a place where we really are able to accept this proposal. Let's just put it that way. Because it was, the king of the biggest nation in, kingdom in this world came to propose to you. And you don't have on the right clothes, and you don't have on you can't do anything, you can't speak properly, you don't know any of the kingly, you sort of feel inferior. This is what we're doing, getting ourselves to the place where through worship and coming into obedience to Him, we can get to the place where we never will feel worthy, but we can accept His accepting us. That's how it works, right? And so He says, you just need to love me. And what does loving Him mean? Obeying His commandments. And His commandments are not grievous. His yoke is easy and His burden is light. So all of that comes together so that we can feel comfortable, so that we can celebrate this whole experience and process. Because a lot of persons go into this process of becoming who we were created to be with a lot of trepidation and a lot of insecurity, right? And part of this program is to remove that insecurity and help us all to love ourselves so that we can celebrate every moment of every day along the journey, because we are all on a journey. And our journey takes us through different turns, different ups and downs, but we are going to the same end, right? And my journey is not better than yours. My journey is not easier than yours, and my journey is not harder than yours. It is our attitude towards embracing the wherewithal that He provides for us in engaging all the provisions and resources that He makes for us and gives to us and daily loads us with. That is what makes the journey acceptable, good, and perfect, right? So it's about not conforming to the way the world does this thing, but being transformed by the engaging of this word to renew the mind and to be the washing of the water, so that we can be at a place to operate the way He wants us to. Because if you operate the way He wants us to, it's all good. My brother has a message that he does on that. He says, it's all good. If you feel, it's all good. Why? Because He has promised that whatever the enemy meant for evil, He will turn around for good. All right. No downside to this journey. And as you face suffering and trials and challenges and stress, He has already made a way for you to negotiate through it and come out, as I say, smelling like a rose and enjoying the journey. That's the whole idea. The issue of grin and bear it and endure and make everybody don't want to upon you, right, is not the way to go. In fact, it is against the will of God. He says, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations and diverse problems and stress. It does not matter what faces us. He has our back. And not only does he have our back, let me tell you something. There are two things that I always love about my Savior, my Creator. And these are they. One, he is constantly looking around the world for those who will worship him. There's three of them. In spirit and in truth. And spirit and according to the truth of what he has put down in this world. That's one. Two, next, he's looking around, and it's not the next time he come around on the trip. He's doing his 3 things one time, but I'm listing them. Okay. Secondly, he is looking around for those who are in a bad situation, back against the wall, enemy at them, to show himself strong on their behalf. And then the third thing, which is the one I like my best, is in Zephaniah 3:17. He says he's constantly looking for those who he can do a poopalik over because he enjoys them so much. And that's where I like to be. I like to be where not only am I causing enjoyment for other persons, but for my Lord and for my King. It's a part of my worship. Can you imagine when he sees me doing that? Just enjoy myself. He just does a poopalik over me. It's in the word. The word is K-U-U-L in Hebrew, right? And sometimes spelled K-H-U-L. But it means to do a spin and a twirl. A twirl and a spin is the same thing. A spin and a poopalik, right? Over those who he enjoys, how they are enjoying him. When he sees us obeying him, that is how he responds. Oh, that's why I love to do poopalik. So, I am going to suggest that you continue as we go into the rest of these postures of worship, to recognize that all of these postures of worship are postures of the physical body that indicate the attitudes of our hearts. So let's continue then. So we look at all the different hands and the clapping and the waving and the lifting, and then we went on to the head, the bowing and the upturning. You know, like an upturn, ready to receive the rain just falling on your face and engaging. You ever been out in the rain and just stand up and just let it just fall on your face and trickle out? Oh, I love to do that. My mom never liked me to do that, but I always, and when I was no longer under our jurisdiction, one of my favorite pastimes, just go out there and let the dew or just a little rain coming down. And I remember one day I was doing it. I was going for a morning walk with some of my clients from our lifestyle center. And I remember this young lady, no, it was not a young lady, she was about 70 odd, right? Mother of one of my friends, right? She was spending a few weeks with us. And every morning we would go walking up in the hills, up in Cooper's Hill. And I remember we used to have to climb over trees that had fallen and we go under this and blah, 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 blah. And she says, one day I saw her take out her handkerchief and she spread it on top of our text and says, oh, she's probably going into her prayer closet. So I said to her, so afterwards I realized that she was not sort of engaged in prayer. So I said, why do you put that there? She says, Mom, the rain is naughty. I said, the what? The rain is noughting, as in not, Noughting. So I said, the rain is noughting. She said, yes, ma'am, it can come down, but it not coming heavy, so it's noughting. I said, let me tell you something. You see our language? This language, not like it. And so I learned something. The rain is noughting. So when the rain is noughting, I like to be out there. And it's just like the dew that is running down from my face and just refreshing me. One of the things. Upturn face. Down. Right. Now, engaged in the bowing thing is, I can't demonstrate all of it because I'm behind the desk. But then there's another one that you have and you just bend from your waist right down. As far as you can go. Now, don't break any backs, but just really submission again. It's an issue of bowing down before somebody who you regard as bigger than you, and so showing deference to. You know, in a lot of cultures, a lot of African and also Oriental and Eastern cultures, you have this sort of a genuflecting and bowing, and those postures show honor, they show deference, they show reverence. And you know, we cannot be in a position of worship and never change our posture, right? All of those are postures that show that we appreciate all the different aspects of our Creator, right? So we have, moving on down, kneeling, where we bend our knees and put the knees in contact with the floor. And that is kneeling. We can kneel up, we can kneel down. We can kneel and bend and put our faces to the ground. We can also prostrate ourselves, lying flat on the ground, so that it's almost as if to say, look, this is it. You know, we so very often engage all of these postures. Time for a break. So come back.
Oh my. Master, they will come to pass. With all this injustice, this world could never last. Oh, somehow I know things have got to change.
On reggae2reggae.com, we encourage our listeners with an inclusive, intelligent, and innovative alternative media experience.
Oh my. Master, they will come to pass. With all this injustice, this world could never last. Oh, somehow I know things have got to change.
We're back. And we are looking at postures of worship as we think about this aspect of the proposal from the king. I'm here to tell you. Because you would not come to me, he said, I came to you. I left heaven behind and came to earth just so I could be near you. Though I was rich, I became poor. Though I was strong, I became weak like mortal man. Why? So that he could come and give us his proposal. How do we need to respond to this? We need to respond by our abandoned worship. You cannot come into a situation of worship. And I'm doing little bits and pieces from a teaching and seminar that I did all around the Caribbean. Oh, way back. Oh, that must have been about 25 years ago, with Caribbean Praise Network. And we did it through several churches in Jamaica. And it was a teaching of how to come into abandoned worship so that it will result in your just getting healing, just getting provision, coming into a place of peace, of breaking the bondages that are preventing you from having loving relationships, and also engaging your joy, which is your strength. Now, all of this comes out of a place of worship. And so we are going to engage you from now to the end of the show today on the Lord's Day on additional postures of praise and worship and what it does, first of all, to our Redeemer, our friend, our Savior, and our Creator. And also what it does for you. So we looked at the head and the hands and the kneeling and the prostrating, and all of those are sort of static poses, positions. And now I'm going to move on to the movement postures, right? And when I spoke about prostrating, we very often think about lying on our faces before the Lord, right? And a lot of times we only go there when there's a crisis. And I mentioned that we engage with these postures when we're having trouble in the emotional realm. Because you know how people throw themselves down on the ground in a state of grief, and you know, all of those postures are natural, spontaneous actions that need to be a part of our worship experience. The way I see people jump up and down when their team is winning, the way I heard them screaming about Tessan and Bolt. What about screaming like that about the lover of our souls who has brought this fantastic proposal to give us? You know, we need to take up the reins and learn abandonment. You cannot learn or engage a spirit of worship without abandonment. And I'm here to tell you, I don't care how quiet you are, because you can sit quietly back and abandon yourself. But we need to understand the passion that is evident in this proposal from the King of Kings. And let's see if we can match it with our best passion. That's all we need to do. He does not require us to give him anything that he's giving us. It's not an exchange of what he can provide for us. It's an exchange of intent. He says, I judge the intents of your heart. And the intents of my heart need to be evident in the expressions of my passion. So, what I would suggest is that we start by going into the closet. You know, the privacy of our bedrooms or bathrooms or wherever they can get privacy. And just go through the list of these positions so that we recognize that this is how we come to the place of utter surrender to the King of Kings, the lover of our souls, and be able to be in the place where we can really embrace the proposal that he wants to give us. He wants to offer to us. Because we cannot embrace it from a superficial level. Because he's not at a superficial level. He is not there. He does not live there. He does not engage there. There is nothing that we can take from him at that level, because he only operates at that level, total passion. And so we have to match his total passion with our total passion, whatever is total for us. But the engagement of 90% of our emotions and of our spirits will never cut it. Let's just put it that way. Right? Okay. So here we are in a situation where we have gone through some of the postures, and now I'm going to look at some postures. I mentioned about the prostrate that way. We have also prostrate this way, because part of the issue of your position and your posture has to do with your, what should I say, attitude, right? When we are doing temperament analysis, we look at different temperaments, people who are controllers, people who are life of the party, we have people who are exotic, we have people who are sophisticated, we have people who are what they call the just very active, and we have those who are passive, and then we have a category. I have told you about all of them, but this is the one I want to sort of a feature, the one with supine. That means you're lying on your back with your arms open, right? And that person is a person who everybody keeps around because they don't know how to protect themselves. The only person you should be supine to is your Creator, because he will never harm you. You lie on your back with your arms open, and it's a place of vulnerability. And it is the only place that you can fully engage the resources that God has for you. Wonderful. So, lying on your back with your arms open, supine, as you think about the goodness of God, and as you prepare yourself to embrace it, that's the position that you need to engage in. And then I would like you to think about the moving positions, the positions of standing before him. Just standing before him. There are positions of sitting before him, in his presence. You know, whenever I sit before him, or I sit in his presence, whenever I sit, because I'm always in his presence, I remember that I'm seated in heavenly places in Christ Jesus, so that I am sitting here on earth, bodily, but spiritually I'm sitting in heavenly places. And from that position of posture, it is almost a position of completeness and authority. Because I can sit on the throne with him and know that everything has been completed. The issue of standing is almost as standing at attention, because the king is proceeding in. So every posture that you engage in has spiritual significance and relevance if you understand it and you are engaging in that posture, not just physically but also in your attitude. So we have also running, jumping, twirling, being clamorously foolish, right? as in halal, you know. And then I'm going to come to the last two, which are my favorite, my last three favorite. They are laughing, crying, and what was the other one? I don't remember. It was last two then, laughing and crying. Those are my two favorite. And I'm telling you, you know, they are the two most powerful. And I'm going to look at crying first. One, you cannot enter into the, what we call the tehillah, the high worship position without being broken. And whether you're going to shed tears or your throat is going to, or whatever, the issue is one of brokenness. I remember, you know, when I was a child, I wondered every time my father got up to speak in the breaking of the bread, every time, he was an elder at Maranatha, he would cry, and I'm saying, why does daddy cry? I've never seen my father cry at home. You know, he was not a softie. And I said, why does he cry every time? Why is he so sad at church? Until I understood that he could not come into the presence of God without being broken. And that's what led to the tears. And I'm here to tell you exactly the same thing my late husband, Earl. He never came into the presence of God without crying, because he was always broken when he came into the presence. And so I realized that it is something that I needed to allow myself to do, because I was not about crying, no, not a soul making me cry. And so I came to the place where I was willing, and I'm telling you, folks, it's like a generational blessing. Every time I come into the presence, me bawl every day, because he is so good. And from the position of brokenness, you can receive everything. Everything. And what is the most important thing you receive? Your joy. And that is your strength. And that is the advantage of brokenness. Because out of brokenness comes joy, which is your strength. And so that brings me to the last one, the laughing. Listen to me. It's the most powerful tool for your physical self and for your spiritual self. You want to have instant healing with everything? The laughing. You want to have instant healing with everything that is wrong with your body? The laughing. We'll talk more about this tomorrow, because over time has far gone. I've gone over the time. So see you tomorrow on Celebrate Life, when we look more at all of these wonderful postures of worship and praise and how they can benefit us as we prepare to receive and embrace the proposal of the King. See you tomorrow. Bye. From Celebrate Life on reggae2reggae.com.
Oh my. They will come to pass. With all this injustice, this world could never last. Oh, somehow I know things have got to change.
Since the first public demonstration of radio by Nikola Tesla in 1893, no one ever thought of putting the 2 hours of music together until we created reggae to reggae.com.